Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Master Division in the Skyline Cup Tournament. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. So let's go. We're gonna start off by playing hole number 1. We're gonna use the red ring by the rough line to the right, using max side spin to the right, no top spin. But the thing that I would like you to do is to change that one just tiny little bit. I want us to go with max side spin to the right, move our target a little bit more forward, using the red ring by the right side of the rough once again, combined with having it aligned with the bunker to the left. And then in the end you're going to add half a bar to 1 bar of topspin, as we do want to gain as much distance as possible on the fairway that we are playing. Drive 10% downhill, and we're going to play it in medium distance while playing with a power 3 ball. Also, before we take the second shot, you can get the updated text guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link in the description below. Also, if you do have any questions, let me know and I will be happy to help you out. So, come on then. Our opponent's going to use the max side spin to the right and 1 bar of top spin here. And you can see that he is going to gain a little bit more yards than I do. I want to get to around 285 to 295. That's the plan, at least, while going in for this drive. For the second shot now, I want us to use a max side spin to the left. Reason we do want to play max side spin is to take ourselves away from the rough and the sand as much as possible there to the left. I'm not using any backspin, any topspin here in this example. I have no problem with you using some backspin or topspin. That's up to you. You can see here that in the end, go from using max side spin to the left to remove and only play with 4 bar side spin. That's a mistake, and you're gonna see me miss this shot to the right. And here we do want to play with a +10 adjustment. So you're going to play the shot from the position you're at with a +10 adjustment. You can see we're bouncing here. We do get nicely when it comes to the kick into the left. Problem is though, is that the ball of course doesn't get that much kick to the left due to the only 4 bars of side spin. Hole number 2, and here we're gonna play with a sniper as it is straight tailwind. This wind we have had before, +10 yard mark with our target. You can see I'm using 4 bars backspin and 5 bars side spin to the left. The reason we're using to the left, as the fairway will push our ball into the right. You can see here that I'm gonna look for the +10 yard mark once again, 1/3 approximately inside the rough there to the right, just over when it turns from 9 to 10. Then we're gonna play this one. In this case I played this one 12.5 rings. And you can see that my ball bounced very nicely. We come up and we get very, very close to get this ball in the hole. The thing that I want you to do here though is that I do want us to tweak this one just a tiny little bit. Same type of landing position is what I want us to have. I want us to have 4 bars of side spin to the left. Not 5. 4 bar side spin to the left combined with 3.25 of backspin. And then I'm going to play this one max +10. So it's basically similar to what I'm doing here, just some minor tweaks. And those tweaks come from having to be played this hole a little bit after that as well. So make sure that you do follow those tweaks, then you're gonna be fine. And it is important there in the end. I played it 12.5 rings. As I could see, that's slightly under adjusted. Like a max +10 with a power 3 ball is very close to a 1-to-1 +1 adjustment. And here you can see we're playing with a power 3 ball, and maybe wonder why don't we play like with a more wind resistance ball. We don't need to, because we do want the distance with our power 3 ball. 5 bars top spin. Red ring by the rough line to the right, and I'm going to be in the +5 yard mark. Max side spin to the right, and I think I said 5 bars top spin, but if I didn't, then I say it again. 5 bars top spin. and then we're going to adjust for a maximum distance with a 5% over adjustment from this one. I know we can play this one without any over adjustment, but due to that if we hit the ball great in this very strong wind, we do want to have those 5% extra to great proof our shot. You can see how close we are there because we're not over adjusting with the 5% as I wanted to. Now we do get down here, and here it is important, 383. Now we do need to start tweak our adjustments so we're able to get this ball in the hole. I've made this shot one time so far, and that was from 390. And 390 gave me a way to play from the plus 5 yard mark with my sniper without any topspin, without any side spin. I'm just going to play it clean, leaving my ball guideline around 2 squares short on the green, and that was in the hole at that time. Which is nice. It's always nice to get something to drop. I'm not gonna lie. But it all depends, you know, 383, that's gonna change slightly when it comes to distance. 7 yards of difference from where I dropped it to where I am now, which means that we do need to adjust a little bit more in this case. And that's the hard part. How much to adjust in this situation? So, okay, now we do have, as you can see here, we're going to have the plus 7 yard mark here in this situation, which means that once again, we're 2 yards further ahead, which is approximately around like half a ring type of situation. So in this case, we would be playing this one 12.7 should be the adjustment that I would like us to do here. But as you can see, I'm playing this one 12.5, which is what I played when we did get this ball in the hole. And then we hit this ball perfect. You can see that we're gonna slightly miss this one to the right. We're coming in nicely though. That's no problem, but we miss it slightly to the right. That's because we need to tweak that one from 283. Hole number 4, and here you will see me play with a kingmaker. Here I would suggest to play with the ball that gives us like a more of a wind 5 type of ball situation here. Not because I don't want us to spend a bunch of balls like that. It's just that the wind is going to be lower. It's going to be easier to dial in. Here I'm playing with 6 bar backspin and 4 bar side spin to the right. You can see how the red ring, the top right corner, is perfectly aligned with the rough there to the right. And then we're going to adjust. In this case, it's going to be 12 rings for this adjustment. So I'm playing this 1-1 plus 1.2, so max plus 10. And we see we're coming in this very, very nicely, very close to the right side. And of course, this one can be tweaked. You will see others have similar adjustment, but just with different ball. This is a very good chance, in my opinion, to get something extra. We will see a lot of hole-in-ones on this hole 4. So those minor tweaks is something that I will continue to update on the updated text guides. So it's very important that you do make sure that you follow the structure with everything from the spin to the adjustments in the end. So our opponent coming in here as well, not going to be any problem for him to get an easy birdie. Now we go to hole number 5. Let's go all in then, because now we're gonna go for green with this type of wind. And here is also a hole where we can play slightly different from time to time. Reason being is that it all comes down to what type of adjustment you're going to choose. For me, I'm going to choose in this case some side spin to the left because I want to stay away from using the bunker there to the right. But the problem here though is that we are using too little curl, and this ball is, even with a side spin to the left, is going to go too much straight forward. Even though it's a nice drive, I'm gonna bounce into the sand. So the thing that I want us to do here is that I do want us to go with a little bit more curl to the right. I want us to go with 1 ball of curl to the left, combined with using 3 bars of side spin to the right. because we do want the ball to be kicked into the right, which is going to be yeah, that's something that we're going to look for once we are bouncing on the fairway, because otherwise, if we over curl this one with side spin to the left, we're gonna drop into the rough to the left, and of course, if we do have too little, we're gonna be in the bunker. So in the end, it's gonna be a tough one to consistently get to the green all the time, but it absolutely a big possibility to get this ball to the green every single time. Power 5 ball is, I would say, a must here. Power 5 ball when it comes to either a berserker or even with a snow globe or something like that. You can see here now that I'm trying now to find a way where we do have some sort of a funnel, which means that if I over adjust, I'm still going to get this ball in the hole, and might be lucky with a great shot to either left or right and still get this ball in the hole anyway. So I'm using the back of the green and going to let the ball fall back down towards the pin. The reason I'm using this spot is because I've used that one before, especially in a tournament before. So now I know that a great left and a perfect most likely is going to go in. And I hit it perfect, and that of course is going to make it 100% that it's going to go in. Nice eagle, and this is an absolute must eagle in my opinion for this tournament. Now we go to hole number 6, max side spin to the right, 4 bars of top spin, and here I want us to focus on the blue ring as our target. We're going to stretch out while we're making this adjustment, which is going to make us having to eyeball the amount of rings that we're going to do in this case. 5% extra for the drive here. You can see that I'm focusing on getting this second bounce over the rough line there on top. And then I'm going to adjust this for max plus 5. You can see that I'm going to have to use a little bit of overpower, using approximately 75% of the ball outside the adjustment ring to the right, with a tiny bit of overpower, and then we're going to make the shot. We're gonna bounce very nicely, and we're going to roll here down on the fairway. So, and here it's also important, as I did talk about on the earlier par 5 that we'll play hole number 3, is that note down the yardage. That is so important because it's gonna help you dial in your shot, like I'm doing here. You see, I'm noting down everything when it comes to the yardage and what my adjustments are, what happened after, and then I tweak that and I tweak that and I tweak that, and the goal is to have solid notes for every hole once the weekend round comes. That's why, like in the qualifying round for me, it's all about trying shots out to see if we can get close and then tweak from there. Of course, if we drop something, that's a huge bonus, but I don't really care about the qualifying round because it's not there we're going to win or lose a tournament. In the opening round, it's very important that we do have a solid round, of course, due to the tiebreaker, but with very solid notes to the weekend round, you definitely have a chance to win the tournaments outright. Do not overcurl, then we're gonna go into the bunker, and then that's gonna be almost impossible to get this ball to get that ball to the green. Now we're going to play this one under adjusted, and here you can see we have a 5-bar backspin situation, and 5-bar backspin might gonna be a little bit too much. I would say 4.5-bar backspin would be cool. And then we're going to be in the plus 2-yard mark here from this distance, and we are over adjusting 1 square to the left of the pin, and I want us to be able to stay away from the offsetting of the ball guideline to make the adjustment more clean, because it's very hard to just be spot on with 1 ring, 1 square of offsetting. Now you can see I'm hitting great left, and this ball going to go straight at the pin, but going short. That's what I said with the 5 bars of backspin. So what did we learn from that? We do take away the offset as a start. Take away that one, go straight at the pin, and build your adjustment from there. 5% downhill for the drive, 10% under adjustment, so minus 10% for the second shot, and you play it from for where the shot is. And then we're going to most likely dial this one in. I really like this hole because the bounce there on that fairway platform is definitely something that we will see people dropping. And then the only important part for me here is to get consistent drives from time to time. Now we're going to play 2 ways on hole number 7. You will see first that I'm playing with a power 3 ball, and the power 3 ball is giving me a little bit of a problem, because in one way I do want to go up and using max backspin go on the green, but I don't like that in any form because it doesn't give me any consistency. So now I'm going to use the red ring and using, as you can see, the second bounce there on the fringe. Problem we have now though, as we're going to have to over adjust with 10%, is that we're going to be just barely in between clubs. I'm missing like a 0.2 decimals or something like that to my adjustment. So I have to slightly overpower my shot, which is not something that I do want to do. Always with overpower, we do not really get it as we want to. Slightly short, slightly to the right, so from that position, like a tiny bit of top spin and maybe with just a tiny bit of side spin to the left, and we would be nicely there in the hole. But I would say if we're going to play with the Goliath shot there with a power 3 ball, maybe try to play with a Centurion or a vintage ball or something like that that gives you a little bit more wind resistance while taking that shot, so you're not going to go in between clubs. And of course with a Kingmaker with wind below 12, that's not going to be a problem either. Our opponent's going to play with the sniper with a max backspin shot, and you know, once again, that's a way for you to play that one as well. I like for the ball to roll a little bit, and I'm going to show you a sniper approach, which is going to be with a wind 5 ball, and that's why I want to separate those two videos, because I'm going to want to focus on having like Kingmakers general, and then we do have a power 1 ball. As you know, if we do have special balls, that's definitely going to be something that we can play with. Now, the important part here now is to find where the cutoff is from the Goliath to the sniper. It's just there we do want to be, just right there. 4 bars backspin, and I'm going to want to have 2 bars of side spin to the left. And I know it shows almost 4 bars of side spin. The reason that is shown is because I'm looking for a line straight at the pin. So I do also want to change my landing position just slightly using the blue ring, being by the rough line to the right. With the ball guideline, miss the hole with approximately 1 square to the right. You can see I'm missing to the left here. It's still a nice shot though, but if you remember that, miss ball guideline, miss the cup approximately 1 square to the right of the pin, 4 bars backspin, 2 bars side spin to the left with the blue ring aligned by the rough, just where the club turns over from a Goliath to a sniper. Hole number 8. This is going to be a course where a lot of people are gonna make a par. So now we're going to use max topspin. I'm going to play in the +9 yard mark, and +9, +10 doesn't really matter. The only important part for me here is that I'm going to play my drive not for being in max distance without any over adjustment. Even though I say +10, but as we're going to back up and I do want to have a specific line towards the fairway, then it's going to be just max numbers, not any +10 as it is on the other divisions. So we go with max side spin, max top spin, and then we're going to have to use some curl. Now we went a little bit short with the apoc there. We didn't get the bounce that we wanted to, but we are there on the fairway and we do have a shot for the pin and we should be able to make it up there. So in this case, we're going to see, what can I say? We're going to see a way for us to have no problem to reach for the green, even though we have to push it with overpower in this case. But this is going to be a tough par 4. Make sure that you stay on the green, on the green surface, which is the fairway. Last but not least, when it comes to the drive, a slight amount of curl to the left. I would say around half a ball of curl to the left, to just let the ball follow the fairway on the left side and not going into the rough. Now our opponent is super unlucky here, getting into the rough very short here, which is going to make this be no possibility in whatsoever to reach. So now we do have the Cataclysm, and that's the club that you're going to play with. Have in mind here though that now we went pretty short because we got a very bad bounce with our drive. So now we're going to focus on just getting this ball to the green. If we're using too much topspin, the ball is going to roll over the green and we're gonna go into the bunker. So I'm going to try to play myself with 2 to 3 bars of topspin if I do get to this type of distance the next time as well. And then we're going to play it max distance with nothing over adjustment. And here we're going to see that we're going to have to play this one with max overpower, and we need to push this one very hard. Slightly gray to the left, but this should be fine. Coming in here to bounce very nicely on the fairway and roll up here towards the pin. Close, close, close! So the thing, let's say like this, that you're going into the rough or into the sand. Play yourself out as close to the right top corner on the fairway, then you have more as a straight wedge towards the pin. Hole number 9. Now we're going to play with a power 4 ball, max top spin, and 3 bars of side spin to the left. And I know there will be people trying to power hook this one. I don't blame you for doing so, but I'm not going to do that. I'm playing this one 10% downhill with max distance number. And as you can see there in the end, once I'm done, I'm push up my target approximately half a ring to 1 ring to compensate for the distance that I do miss while adjusting with a power 4 ball. Then we bounce nicely on the fairway and we get the ball to roll now nicely there on the fairway as well. And this is going to make us have a shot for the pin with the Cataclysm. Here I picked the wrong club and I'm going to play with a sniper, and you're gonna see how important it is for us to play with how important it is to play with a club with distance, because the sniper here ain't gonna cut it even though we play with a power 4 ball. If you do want to play with a little bit more distance, you can use a power 5 ball, like a gear ball, gridiron ball, or something like that, like with a stat which is power 5, wind 2 and side spin 1. Those balls are very good in this situation. I want to keep it as to a power 4, which is more similar to what we do have in our bag. Sure, it's a special ball. You can play with a power 3 ball, but we do need distance. So here it's either a power 4 ball or a power 5 ball. Even a Berserker would be better than a Kingmaker in my opinion. So now I'm going to play this one with 5 bars of backspin. And now you can see we're going to stretch out and see that we're going to be in max position here. But as we do have a little bit of tailwind, we're going to have to stretch out, and then we're going to have to eyeball the rings once again to stretch out and build ourselves a visual understanding of where the ball is going to land and how it's going to act. And then we're going to adjust for max distance minus 5% as it is slightly uphill. Slight amount of overpower, which we wouldn't be having to do with a Cataclysm. We're getting it close, and if getting this one in the hole, that would be a super bonus while playing it. So